I don't have time for an IDP. When I hear leaders say that they don't have time for an IDP, it triggers a lot of questions for me. Like, do you know what an IDP is? Do you know how to use an IDP and what the benefits are? And the biggest challenge I hear from leaders is, I don't have time. Hi, I'm Phil Griffith, and I'm a leadership development coach. I coach leaders on the development of their IDP and on the Leadership Challenge by Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner. I administer the LPI 360 Practices Inventory, and I also do facilitation at special events working with the Leadership Challenge to introduce it to leaders. Please like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the newest things happening at Apprender Learning Partnership. In the first two videos of the series, we covered starting at the top and keeping it simple for success. We talked about the 70-20-10 learning model, starting off with a 10% item, a book, a video where we get our new information, a 20% learning item, like working with a coach, a mentor, or even just a social interaction with another leader. And then our 70% learning item, where we get really specific on the behavior it is that we are trying to change, something we are trying to start, stop, or do more of. Remember, the IDP is an investment in yourself, and the payback on that investment is increased efficiency and effectiveness. In this video, I'm going to address some of the most common challenges I hear from working with leaders in the form of do's and don'ts. Let's start with the do's. Do have an IDP before you talk to others to try to convince them that an IDP is a good idea. To have credibility, the foundation of leadership, we have to have an IDP and be able to talk to leaders about the benefits of our IDP and our experiences with genuine conviction. We have to model the way. Do get feedback. Feedback, which is a part of self-awareness, is one of the keys in your development. First of all, you need feedback to tell you what behavior it is that you would be best spending your time and attention in trying to change. The second part is that as you try to change that behavior, you need additional feedback to measure the success of changing your behavior and make any course corrections that you need to make. Seeking feedback is one of the least frequently demonstrated behaviors based on the feedback from the LPI 360 from the Leadership Challenge. Feedback from millions of observers that leaders just don't frequently seek feedback. Do select a behavior that will have the biggest impact for you, the one that will help you increase your efficiency and effectiveness the most, and connect it to a higher level competency. Learning about the whole competency will help connect the peripheral items around that specific behavior and boost your growth in that area. Do select one behavior or one competency. As Marshall Goldsmith says, if you select 3 items, you're probably going to start on number 3 because it's the easiest. Start on the one that will have the biggest impact. It's probably the hardest, and it's probably number 1. Start with number 1 and get the biggest impact. Set target dates and make it attainable. Do start today. Leaders make things happen. Reach out for some feedback, identify an item that would have the biggest impact for you, and get started on your plan. If you're not sure where to start, reach out and we can have a discussion about how to get you started. Do keep your plan active. Look for a time slot in your calendar where you can put in 30 minutes, book it as free so others can still book important meetings with you if they need to. Use that time to review your plan, add any experiences that you've had and any feedback you've received about your progress. If you happen to miss 1 week, that's okay. You've likely hit 80% of your target and 100% more than if you wouldn't have calendared the time to look at your IDP. Do communicate to others about IDPs and their use in development. Be clear, it's about development. It has nothing to do with performance management. Again, by the most senior leaders in the organization talking about their IDPs and sharing their development, It will communicate the use of IDPs and inspire others in the organization to work on their development. Do coach someone else to create their IDP. Our highest point of learning is when we are presenting. So as you present the resources and the process of creating an IDP and share your experience, it will only help your development. Do get anonymous feedback. At some point in your career, get a 360 survey like the LPI 360 from the Leadership Challenge. It's a great way to get anonymous feedback and help you focus on what that behavior is that will have the biggest impact. Now, how about some don'ts? Don't attempt to make IDPs mandatory. As we've talked about, IDPs are about behavior change. It's hard to make someone change their behavior if they don't want to. Strong leaders are the best learners. And by leaders sharing their IDP story about their own growth and development, it will inspire other leaders to want to create an IDP. Don't write your goals into your IDP. First of all, it's going to create a lot of confusion for you. Second of all, your goals may not be the best example of a 70% learning experience for you to demonstrate a new behavior or stop demonstrating when you want to stop. Don't select a behavior that you won't have the opportunity to practice. The behavior change is about you practicing a new behavior and converting it to a habit. Don't leave IDPs solely up to the HR department. Team leaders need to actively be sharing and working on their IDPs and inspire others for their development plans. My first IDP was about asking better questions. I received feedback from my team leader that I could ask better questions. And while it took me a moment to swallow that pill, process asking better questions, what do you mean? I researched a little bit about my IDP and how to create one. I got a couple of books on how to ask better questions. I talked to others who are very good at asking questions and got input and feedback from them. And I started my plan with working to ask better questions. And I continue today. I will come up with a question and I'll say to myself, that's not a good enough question. It needs to be more open and less binary. And in the research that I do on leadership development and development in general, it's common that I find near the beginning the statement of you have to start by asking better questions. And I really appreciate the fact that my team leader gave me the feedback to get me on the road to starting to ask better questions. I hope you have found the series of videos so far useful. I hope it inspires you to consider creating your IDP, coaching someone else to create an IDP, or evaluate where you are in your organization with IDPs. In conversation with me, you'll soon find that I love to talk about IDPs and the Leadership Challenge. If you're interested in more information, please reach out to talk to me about IDPs or the Leadership Challenge. We've talked a lot about feedback. And so as listening to this series of videos and this video, I'm interested in your feedback. Please provide your feedback in the comments of anything that came to mind for you, anything you felt useful, and any other different perspectives that you have about IDPs. Keeping in mind, all of these comments in this video are my perspectives and my experiences with what I've seen, and I'm interested to hear what others' experiences are. Thanks for listening.